understand the beauty of chemistry, possibly that the questions that you've been having in your mind for a long time. You may have also some other questions that who can teach me and understand the concept of what? Who can teach me the concepts of chemistry? Have you ever been looking the place where you can learn and understand the beauty of chemistry? That might be one of your questions. Or have you ever been looking the place where you can learn and understand the beauty of physics and basic mathematics for ordinary secondary education? That might be one of the questions that you have in your mind, and some other questions that have been going on in your mind. I would like to tell you that today I have a good news. You have met with the right answer of a bunch of those questions that you are asking yourself about the beauty of chemistry, physics and basic mathematics. How are you, everybody who is watching this program? My name is Olenjolai Moko Tayai Losingo. Those are my four names, but simply you can call me Olenjolai. I thank God by His own grace, He called me to be a science teacher in a national and international level. So I would like to take this opportunity to welcome all the national and international level, and all the national and international viewers, all the national and international students, all the national and international parents to join me in this moment when we are going to break down different concepts of chemistry in this session, which it is session 3, and it has been titled as I'm going to teach you the techniques of what? The techniques of completing incomplete chemical equation. So I'll be teaching you the beauty of chemical equation, which is the heart of chemistry. It's the heart of pharmacy. It's this concept that you are going to apply in every aspect that you'll be encountering chemistry in your life. I thank God by His own grace, I'm a national and international teacher, as I say, and I would like to take this opportunity to welcome all the national and international viewers into a school that called TANZANIA Online Ordinary Secondary School in square bracket Olenjolai. Simultaneously, I'd like to welcome you into one of our official YouTube channel. This is our official YouTube channel that called TANZANIA Online O-Level Secondary School in square bracket Olenjolai. What vision do we have in TOOSO? Because the abbreviations of Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School in square bracket Olenjolai is TOOSO. So this is the vision that we have. We have an assignment of teaching and training ordinary secondary students on how to extract knowledge, understanding, and wisdom from the classroom instruction, and combine with knowledge, understanding, and wisdom that we are teaching them to extract it from the Word of God written in the Holy Bible, in order to solve small-scale, real-life problems. That is our vision. I know it might be a frustrating phrase or sentence to you, and might be confusing. How can you mix knowledge and understand from the classrooms, and then the objective is solving real-life problems? How can you make the classroom education into real applications in real life? So I want to tell you that even myself, I was confused with this vision, but I thank God by His own grace, He simplified these visions and make it real in my mind. And believe me, it might take a number of years for you to achieve. It might take several years for me to see the fruits of what I'm doing right now, but that is my belief. The main objective of TOOSO is not to teach you to pass your next exam. The main objective of TOOSO is to teach you on how you have to think outside of the class and take the classroom instructions in order to solve real-life problems in different aspects of human life. So as the name of the school emphasizes that it's called Tanzania, so I'll be using the syllabus and curriculum of United Republic of Tanzania. So my dear students, I would like to invite even international students. Remember, the concepts I'm going to teach you in chemistry, in physics, in basic mathematics for ordinary secondary education level are cross-cutting concepts. So these are not concepts that we are learning at Tanzania. Every student in the world learn these concepts. So don't be disappointed if you're international students. Stay tuned and expect the good news that coming on right now. In case that you have never, it's your first time to visit or to meet us, you're only welcome. We are receiving new students every day. Again, according to the name, I want just to say this one. According to the names of the school, it's called Tanzania Online. So online means right now we are contributing or we are distributing the contents that we are creating by using the internet. So that's the meanings of Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School in square bracket Olenjolai. So we have a vision of recording more than 600 videos of teaching basic mathematics, physics, and chemistry to ordinary secondary students. Maybe you are your parents. So it's a moment to just to invite your kids or to invite your neighbors, the ordinary secondary students who are from neighbor houses or neighbor places, for them to take advantage of this program. So I would like to, in case that it's your first time, you're warmly welcome. If it's not your first time, then I would like to ask you, for all registered students who have already subscribed in our official YouTube channel, you can skip this part. If it's your first time, just follow me in a minute on the process, a few steps that you have to follow for you to do permanent registration. So these are only to take you into registration to OSO. What are the few steps that you have to follow for you to register yourself into OSO? The first step, we ask you to create or open a new email. At the first step, if you have one email address, then you can skip this step. But in case you don't have, you just go into Google applications and ask how you can create a new email. Again, we ask you that to sign in or to download the YouTube software or YouTube application. Then we ask you to sign in YouTube. So it means click the icons of the YouTube applications and then check at the top of your right hand side. You will see a button starting written sign in. So sign in YouTube by your email. So you can only sign in if you have email. That's why in the first step we ask you or we emphasize you to create a new email. The second step, we ask you that right now, when you sign in, you can search your to OSO. To OSO is abbreviations of Tanzania Online Secondary School in square bracket Olenjolai. So where are you going to search it? Search it in YouTube, right? Don't search from any other applications. Right now, we are using YouTube as international online American video sharing platform. So you see our poster, we call it Tanzania National Flag. So these icons, and then you'll see the names of our channel, which is written Tanzania Online or Level Seki School, square bracket Olenjolai. You'll see the number of videos in our channel, then you see the number of subscribers. So subscribers, these are registered students. Then the first step, so you see a round buttons with this national flag. So it asks you what you click on. Click the round button. So click the round buttons to get in. If you click the round buttons to get in, you'll see the horizontal toolbar, which is written homes, and then you'll see also another one written videos, and see another icons or buttons written playlist, and then you'll see community channels and the about. Skip this part right now, I'll come back later, so for you to take advantage of this content. The first step, we ask you that to click the buttons which is being written subscribe. So click these buttons once. Once you click it, then before you click it, it is written subscribe. Once you click it, it's written subscribed. And then you have 40 icons of 40 of the bell. Click this icon of bell once. You'll be given 3 options. Choose the options of 40 of all. Wonderful. So again, in case you want to take advantage of our contents, we ask you again that to keep on clicking. So you can click just to go into the top horizontal bar, which is written there's a button written homes, videos, and playlist. So we ask you to click on the buttons written playlist. And then in these buttons, we ask you to search the playlist written chemical equation. So chemical equation. There we find the collections of all the videos of about 30 that will teach you about chemical equation for ordinary secondary level. Thank you very much for subscribing into our official channel. Then we ask you to visit regularly our official YouTube channel because we are adding at least one video in a day. So make sure to visit it because this is session 3. We've uploaded session 4. We'll be just having session 5 of chemical equations and other next session. But in case you feel that you want to share this video link, click the icons written share in order to share the video link of this video to other students by using social media or even using our email. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome in departments of chemistry. The subject of the day is called chemistry. Then these contents we're creating specifically for pre-form 3 students, for the form 3 students, or QT students, or reciter students who are in form 3, or grade 10 students, and teachers. This is just some groups of students or viewers who can benefit directly with these contents, right? So let me do the quick review. This is session 3. It's titled as Techniques of Completing Incomplete Chemical Equation. So we are in what? We would like to do quick review of what? Of what we taught you in session 2. Remember that I made some correction between the numbering of session 3 and session 4, right? So in session 2, basically, we taught you about types of what? Types of chemical reaction, okay? And then I told you that in fundamental chemistry, chemical reactions, in fundamental chemistry, we are teaching our students basically to know about 5 types of chemical reaction. So types of chemical reaction. So the first one, just the one to mention, is called the combination reaction because there's a relationship between session 2 and session 3, combination of the chemical reaction. Okay, and then the second one is called the displacement. Say displacement chemical reaction. Okay, chemical reaction. So this is in short. And then the third one is called the double displacement chemical reaction. And then the fourth one is called decomposition chemical reaction. And then the fifth type is called the neutralization chemical reaction. Okay, so those are the 5 types of chemical reactions that we taught you, and we gave you some examples. But today, we'll teach you in details about these 5 chemical reactions because these are the 5 techniques that we would like to build in the mindset of our students in order for them to understand how they have to complete incomplete chemical equation. So that is, in case you missed this session, you can access it in our official YouTube channel that's called Tanzania Online O-Level Seki School in square bracket Olenjolai. So you can access and you can get more than what we have summarized in this quick review. Right now, I believe that you are ready to learn about the contents of session 3. Are you ready? Are you ready? Take your pen, take your pencil, take your ruler, and take your exercise book, and then take your fresh mind to go inside today's session. So ladies and gentlemen, the first concept that I would like to teach you in order for you to understand, first of all, I would like to teach you the concept we call the complete, or just, okay, so let me start with introduction. Okay, introduction. So let me start with introductions of the concept. Say introduction. In Swahili we call it utangulizi. So we say that in fundamental, so we say that in chemistry, the chemical equation, the chemical equation may be written as complete chemical equation, or incomplete chemical equation, So the keywords here in this first sentence of introduction is complete and incomplete chemical equation. That's the good news for all my Form 3 students and Pre-Form 3 students and QT students. In chemistry, in fundamental chemistry, we can write a chemical equation either as complete chemical equation or incomplete chemical equation. That's the point I want to make. So what's the difference between this complete and the incomplete chemical equation? So right now, I can have the concept that I called it 3. So this was 3.0. So 3.1. 3.1, I'll let you teach you about what complete chemical equation. Complete chemical equation. So in short, just I write EQM. That is in short. Complete chemical equation. So I would like to have the first question, right? And the first question is, what is the meaning? What is the meaning? What the meaning of what? Of complete chemical equation. Complete chemical equation. So, chemical equation. So you can pause the video and think for a moment. What does this mean? Right? And think for a moment, what does that question mean? How can you answer? Imagine that you're in an exam, or imagine that you are in daily life, or imagine that your child, or your son, or your daughter is asking you, Father, you have studied chemistry. What the means of complete chemical equation? Well, there are different definitions, but I just found one which is very interesting and simple for you to bear it for the rest of your life. So simply say that complete chemical equation, so you say that is a chemical, simply the chemical equation. So this is the chemical equation containing reactants, conditions, and what? And products. So it can be either single reactants or more than one reactants and products. Okay? So that is simple definitions of what? Complete chemical equation. Complete chemical equation is a chemical equation which contains only reactants and conditions of chemical reaction. And conditions of chemicality, so you say that, okay, so complete chemical equation is a chemical equation containing reactants, conditions, and products of what? Of a chemical reaction. Okay, so again we have a general formula that we teach our students, a general formula of a complete chemical reaction is, so a general formula for complete chemical equation. So remember that I will use the word reaction and equation interchangeably. So chemical equation is this. So ladies and gentlemen, you can pause the video and copy these 6 steps or 7 steps for you to take advantage
of our contents. Thank you for registering into OSO. You're only welcome. Stay tuned, stay online, and receive the contents that will teach you or how to think differently. So the general formula, say general formula. So the general formula of what? Of a complete chemical reaction is this one. That on the left-hand side, we always will have reactants. So you have always reactants, single reactant or more than one reactant. And then we have an arrow which is equivalent to equal sign in mathematics. And then above this arrow or below it, we can put what a condition or catalyst. Okay, condition or catalyst. Condition or catalyst. And then on the right hand side, you have what? A single product or more than one products. So that's the general formula. So any chemical equation which is written by following this general formula is defined or is categorized as what? Complete chemical equation. So then we can have, I know that you as my beloved students, you can have a second question. What are the 5 examples? What are the 5 examples of what? Of complete, what are the 5 complete examples of complete chemical equation? So at least we have more than 5, but let me mention at least 5 examples of complete chemical equation. So we can write a chemical equation by using word, or we can write a chemical equation by using molecular formula, or you can write a chemical equation by using ions. So we have 3 ways of writing a chemical equation, but ionic equations is actually deduced from molecular equation. So I'll be writing the examples by using the word equation, word chemical equation, or by using the it means by using the technique. It means by using the method, because we said that there are 3 types of chemical equation. It's word chemical equation, we have molecular chemical equation, and we have also ionic chemical equations, which I will teach you in the next session. So session 4, I will teach you about word chemical equations. Session 5, I will teach you about molecular chemical equations. And then session 6, I will teach you about balancing the chemical equation. And session 7, possibly, I will teach you about ionic chemical equation. And session 8 and 9, possibly, and even 10, we can be solving different questions. So that's the vision we have. Pray for that in order that visions to be reality. What are the 5 examples of complete chemical equations? Complete chemical equations. So the following are the examples. The first example, we can have just a reaction of what? Magnesium react with oxygen. React with oxygen. And then you have an arrow. Then the products is what? Magnesium. This is metal, this is non-metal. When metal and non-metal react, they form a compound. So a compound is called what? Magnesium oxide. Not magnesium oxygen, it is called magnesium oxide. So this chemical equation, it has at least, so remember that a complete chemical equation should have at least 2 parts, reactant and product part. The part of conditions or catalyst, not every chemical reactions need a condition for it to take place. And not every chemical reactions need catalyst to take place. For those chemical equations or chemical reactions that need conditions or catalyst, we indicate. But for those that they don't take it it means that they don't need a condition or a catalyst for reactants to react to form a product, then we just include what reactants and a product. That's the first example. The second example, we can have this reaction. So this is the reactants, we call it calcium carbonate. Okay, so when calcium carbonate decomposes, it forms what? Calcium oxide plus what? Carbon dioxide. I don't want to involve the physical state of reactants and the products. I will include it in session 5, but at this moment, just learn this. And this symbol stands for what? For heat. it's a condition. Then the third example, we can have also potassium. So the third example of complete chemical equation is what? Potassium. When potassium reacts with what? When potassium reacts with hydrochloric acid. So when potassium reacts with hydrochloric acid, that's displacement in chemical reaction. So it means that potassium will displace hydrogen and form what? And form potassium chloride. This is salty plus what? Plus hydrogen gas. So plus hydrogen gas. Then you have the first example. First example can have double decomposition. So double decomposition, for example, if you have sodium chloride plus what? Sodium chloride, and hence plus what? Plus magnesium oxide. So this will form what? So double decomposition. So I'm just giving you examples. I'll teach you the formulas later on how. I'm just giving examples of complete chemical reaction. So sodium displaces oxygen. This is called double displacement, or yes, double displacement in most cases. We call double displacement in chemical reaction. So sodium displaces magnesium and reacts with oxygen and form what? Sodium oxide plus what? I'll teach you the rule, don't worry. Plus magnesium chloride. So magnesium chloride. So chlorine will be 2 atoms. So you can balance, or you can leave. You can balance. I will teach you how to balance the chemical equation. At this moment, just take it as easy that I want to show you the reactants on left hand side and products on right hand side. So again, can you take as a quiz? So example 5, then I want you now to do quiz 1. Quiz what? Quiz 3.1. So write that example 5. Write any complete chemical equation. It means any chemical equation that consists of reactants and the products. This is reactants, this is product. This is reactant, these are 2 products and condition. Then this is reactants, these are the 2 products. These are reactants, these are the 2 products. So you can have a single reactant and 2 products, so it depends. Or you can have 2 reactants and single product. So it depends. Okay, so thank you for trying. Pause the video and then try to write the fifth example. You can write any example away from the one that I'm going to write for you. But this one means that it's a reaction between what? Sodium chloride, which we call it in chemistry table salt, plus what? Plus, so sodium chloride plus calcium hydroxide. So this is neutralization reaction. So if acid and base react, it forms a salty, and this salty is called what? Sodium. So our salt is called sodium chloride. No, not sodium chloride. Okay. Sodium. Excuse me. I made a mistake here. Hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid reacts with what? With calcium hydroxide. This is acid, this is base. Then this form what? It will form calcium chloride. Calcium chloride plus what? Plus water. So hydrochloric acid and calcium hydroxide are reactants, 2 reactants, and calcium chloride and water are 2 products. So those are the 5 examples of complete chemical equation. If you have any question about complete chemical equation, don't hesitate to ask in the comment section below. I believe you have understood very well the concepts of complete chemical equation. Ladies and gentlemen, let me teach you the third concept of this session, of session 3. okay, which is 3.2, because we had 3.0, 3.1, then we are going to 3.2. So let me teach you about what incomplete. So if you have complete, it means we may have also incomplete. Incomplete chemical equation. Incomplete chemical equation. So you have a question here, okay? And the question is, this is question 3. So what is incomplete? What is incomplete chemical equation? What is incomplete chemical equation?
What is it? You can pause a video and ask yourself, and then write your definition, pause the video, answer this question on the graph paper, and then continue to watch the video to see the answer and compare with your try. We want to teach our students the technique, we call it in learning, active learning. But the students will be centered in the process of learning.
So ladies and gentlemen, incomplete chemical equation, simply say that, is a chemical equation. So this is a category of chemical equation which contains what? Which contains only reactant or reactants and the condition. So in condition or what? Or catalyst of the chemical reaction. So this consists only two parts. It may consist reactants itself, or it may consist reactants with catalyst. Right? For this reason, it means that incomplete chemical equation, it does not contain what? Product. Does not contain product. Does not contain what? Product. Okay, does not contain product, but it only contains what? It only contains what? It only contains what? Reactants. It only contains reactants. Okay. So that is strong, simple definition of incomplete chemical equation, which is the heart of section 3 of chemical equation. Okay? So it only contains, it does not contain what? Products. So the chemical equation, it won't contain the products, but it only contains what? It only contains reactant. So when I put parentheses like this, means either one reactant or more than one reactant. So ladies and gentlemen, I know now in your mind you have question 4. What are 5 examples of what? Of incomplete what? Incomplete chemical equation. So we have so many examples of what? Of incomplete chemical equation in chemistry. But let me just use, it means we can make a complete chemical equation into incomplete chemical equation when the composer of the question will give you the chemical equation which contains only reactants or reactants and what? And conditions or catalysts. And then it won't tell you that when that reactions take place, the product is what. So we have a responsibility to identify
And remember the rules and the techniques that we teach you in chemistry in order to know the products when those reactants react. So ladies and gentlemen, here are the 5 examples of 5 examples of incomplete chemical equation. Okay, so we can write also incomplete chemical equation in word, in form of, it means by using words of the reactants and the products, or by using molecular formula, or by using ionic states of reactants and the product. So we can have magnesium plus what? So magnesium, when magnesium plus oxygen, and then we give you an arrow, and then we don't give you the products. So this is what we call incomplete chemical reaction. The second example, we have also calcium carbonate. Okay, calcium carbonate, and then we give you the conditions, or even if we don't give you the condition, you have to know in your mind that this is decomposition chemical reaction, and I don't give you the product. That's incomplete. Number 3, so let me give you some other examples away from the one that I have taught you there. So you can have also what? I can have also sodium react with calcium oxide. Calcium oxide. So this one will form what? Will form sodium oxide, okay, plus calcium. Sodium plus calcium oxide, it form what? Sodium oxide plus what? Plus calcium. So this is displacement reaction. Then the first example can also have what? The double decomposition reaction. That calcium chloride can react with what? So calcium chloride, it can react with potassium nitrate, and then we give you what? Oh, excuse me, this is complete chemical reaction, so it should not give you the product. So sodium plus calcium oxide, then will be given an arrow. Then the first example, okay, can also have what? The reaction between what? Sulfuric acid in word equation plus what? Plus sulfuric acid plus potassium hydroxide plus potassium hydroxide. Then this will form what? Okay. So these are 5 examples. These are facts. These are some of the 5 examples of what? Of incomplete chemical reaction. So the heart of this session will be dealing on how, or will be teaching you the techniques you have to use to balance, no, just to complete these incomplete chemical reactions. Do you have any questions about incomplete chemical reactions up to this point? If you didn't understand any part, please don't hesitate to ask your questions in the comment section, because we read your comment and answer your question. And not only me, but even also some other students worldwide can just do, okay? So can read. Again, another thing that I didn't remember before I mentioned the examples, the general formula of what? Of incomplete chemical, the general formula of incomplete chemical equation is given as, on the left hand side, we have either one or more than one reactant. So then we have an arrow. So here we may have what? Condition. Okay, we may have a condition, or we may have what? Catalyst. But
product or products, but product is not given or products are not given. So this is the general formula you have to bear in your mind. So my dear students, keep this general formula of complete chemical equation and keep this incomplete formula of chemical equation. All right. So right now, you have understood well about the concept of what? About the concepts of chemical, about the concepts of complete and incomplete chemical reaction. Okay? So the next thing, or the next concept that I have to teach you right now, I would like to teach you the concept that we call it completing incomplete chemical equation. Completing incomplete chemical equation. That's the concept that we would like to teach you. So this is 3.3, first concept. So if you have incomplete chemical equation, then we as students, we have a responsibility to complete them. So that's what we have a concept we call completing chemical equation. Completing chemical equation. Completing incomplete chemical equation. Completing incomplete chemical equation. So from there we have another question, we call it question 5, right? So what is the meaning, first of all? What is the meaning? What is the meaning of what? Of completing the incomplete chemical equation. What does it mean? Simply say that this is a process. It is a process of what? Of completing. This is the process of completing what? Of completing the given chemical the given is a process of completing the given incomplete chemical. So I say that it's a process of completing. This is the process of what? Of completing. It's a process of completing the given incomplete chemical equation by identifying what? Identifying and writing the product or products of the chemical equation. So it means that the concepts of completing incomplete chemical equation will be just having a simple business of identifying and writing the products of the chemical equation. So it's a process. It's a process, and there are techniques that you have to follow when you are performing that process. According to my experience when I was a pre-Form 3 and Form 3 student, this is one of the most challenging concepts to me. And according to my research that I made
to current, it means that to present and future ordinary secondary students, most of them, they found this concept is the most challenging concept. So let's just you to write in your book. It is one of the most challenging. So it's just challenging. It's testing challenging. It's testing your level of understanding of chemical reaction. So it's one of the most challenging part in chemistry. Not only in ordinary level, even in advanced level. So not in chemistry. So for you to master, you should know different types of chemical reaction, different conditions. What are the products? Because sometimes if you change the conditions, the products of the chemical reaction might change. It's a most of the challenge. So remember the key is it's a most of the challenge. So even yourself who is watching this video right now, I know one of your challenging part in chemical equation is completing the chemical equation, right? But I say that, so in this session and other session, we teach you some techniques of what? Of completing different chemical equations. Completing different chemical equation. Different chemical equations. Okay, that's what we are doing, or we'll be doing in this session. So are you ready now to learn those techniques? So ladies and gentlemen, let me teach you now the very interesting part of this session, which is 3.4 techniques. Techniques of what? So techniques of completing an incomplete chemical equation. So in exam, in daily life, in chemistry lab, we'll encounter with this concept of completing incomplete chemical equation. Because even if you are doing an experiment, for example, if you want to know what are the products when calcium carbonate decomposes, so you should know, should predict it, means you should have a theoretical concept, and then you do an experiment to prove. Because we taught you in complete chemical reactions, when calcium carbonate decomposes, it forms calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. So when you go into the chemistry lab, you'll be just proving. You decompose calcium carbonate, and then you have to test the presence of carbon dioxide and the calcium oxide. So you should know the theory. So we are teaching the theory, and hence you may use advantage of your school laboratory to check if these chemical reactions are really taking place or we are lying. But chemistry is a science subject. It's a subject of fact. So ladies and gentlemen, I would like just to make it the sentence here that there are some useful techniques. There are some useful techniques in
in completing the incomplete chemical equation. Incomplete chemical equation. So there are some useful techniques. In completing the incomplete chemical equation. Okay? So that's the point that we have to remember. So basically, you have to follow these two techniques, right? The first technique we say that identify the type of given incomplete chemical equation or reaction. And the first technique. The second technique, okay? Use the general formula, use specific general formula of what? Of type of reaction to what? So use specific general formula of type of reaction to identify the products of incomplete chemical reaction. So these are the two techniques which you are going to implement them right now. So if you remember what I taught you in session 2, I talked about types of chemical reaction. The concepts of types of chemical reaction, it's a fundamental technique and fundamental concept that will help you to balance just to complete different chemical equation. So let me just go inside. So 3.41. What if the given incomplete chemical reaction is combination reaction, right? So we say that completing or techniques of what? Techniques of what? Of completing. Techniques of completing the combination chemical equation. So what the technique? Just the technique. You have to remember the general formula. The general formula of, or the general equation, not formula, of a combination chemical reaction or equation is given as this. That suppose you have reactants A plus reactant B. So this reactants may be metal and this one non-metal, or this one can be non-metal and this can be a metal, or both of these compounds can be non-metals, right? So if A and B reacting, which is the combination reaction to be, the product usual will be a single compound, which is A B. Listen carefully. A stands for any metal or any non-metal. B stands for any metal or any non-metal. A stands for a metal or non-metal, and B stands for what? For non-metal. B cannot be a metal. So we'll teach you that concept. So the concept, whenever you see a combination chemical reaction, so you have to understand that the two reactants, when the two reactants combine together, then it forms a single compound. So it means that simply you say that two reactants reacting together to form what? To form a single compound. So that's the definition of what? Is the definition of combination chemical reaction. So ladies and gentlemen, there, let me present to you example 3. So example 3, complete the following reaction. The question will never tell you the type of chemical equation. You are the one who is responsible to identify which type of the chemical equations, which type of the chemical reactions you've been given. Complete the following chemical equation. So that's why we are teaching you in advance. So that's the question. So the first one, we say that, let us write in just in a simple language. We have calcium in solid state plus oxygen. Is calcium metal or non-metal? It's a metal. Is oxygen metal or non-metal? It's non-metal. So now this is 10 for A. Remember that this is representing A, and this okay. So let me write the question first. I wanted to answer while I should write questions first. And then we have again another example is we have zinc, which is transition element, plus what? Sulfur. What do you get? Then the third example, we have also sodium plus chlorine. Sodium plus chlorine. Then this one, what do you get? Then you have Roman 4. We have another combination chemical reaction. But right now we have what? We have magnesium plus sulfur. What is the problem? So I will do Roman 1, 2, and 4. This one will be your quiz. So this will be your second quiz. Quiz 2. So quiz, it's a try. You have to do it when you are continuing to watch the video. So techniques of completing incomplete chemical complete chemical equation. Okay, fine. Incomplete chemical equation. Okay, so let us solve example 3. So we have what? So the first step, as I told you, identify what? Identify type of what? Of chemical, of the given what? of given chemical reaction or chemical equation. So if you observe Roman 1 to Roman 4, these are examples of what? Of combination chemical reaction. So it means that Roman 1 to Roman 4 are what? Are combination chemical equation. So we'll be using what? So the second step, you have to recall it, general equation. Okay? So you say that the general equation of what? So follow this step when you're solving a question. The general equation of combination chemical reaction Rxn is this: A plus B forms one compound which is AB. For that case, Roman 1, our A is calcium. So calcium combines oxygen, calcium which is metal in solid state combines oxygen molecule. So the product is a single compound which is called the calcium oxide. So you have already completed. Okay? You have already completed. You use this formula, right? Then we go for Roman 2. Roman 2, we have word equation, zinc plus sulfur. So zinc is zinc metal or non-metal? Zinc it is metal. It's not one of the elements in the first 20 elements in periodic table. So zinc plus sulfur, this is A, this is B, for example. Then this one will form a compound we call it zinc sulfide. Zinc sulfide. Zinc sulfide. Then here is Roman 3. Roman 3 we have what? Sodium plus what? Chlorine. Sodium plus chlorine. So sodium plus chlorine, we say that this is solid state and this is in gaseous state. So sodium plus chlorine, it will form what? Sodium chloride. Sodium chloride. And then later on we'll teach you the concepts of what? So this is A, this is B, this is AB. So metal, non-metal. So if you check this chemical equation, it's not balanced because here we have 2 atoms of chlorine, here we have 1 atom of chlorine. I'll teach you the techniques of balancing. So to balance, here we add 2, and here also we add 2. So you have 2 atoms of sodium on the reactant side and 2 atoms of sodium on the product side. We have 2 atoms of chlorine on the reactant side and 2 atoms of chlorine on the reactant on the product side. So I have answered your quiz. Okay, so then Roman 4 will be given out reaction between magnesium and sulfur. So magnesium is a metal when reacting with what? With sulfur. So in the general equation, A stands for metal, B stands for what? For non-metal. So when magnesium reacts with sulfur, it forms a new compound. And this new compound in chemistry, we call it what? The new compound is called magnesium sulfide. So magnesium sulfide. So magnesium is the metal. Okay, magnesium is a metal. And magnesium sulfide, and the word sulfide is non-metal, and magnesium sulfide, it's a compound. So that is about 30. These are the techniques that you have to use in case you want to complete the combination chemical equation. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me teach you about how how you can, the techniques of completing completing displacement chemical chemical equation. Okay? And again, yeah, I've made a mistake. General equation. So simply what we have to know at the technique, it's a general. It's a general chemical equation, general form of what? General form of a chemical equation. The general form of chemical equation of the displacement chemical reaction. Is given as what? As A plus B C. This is forming what? A C plus B. Okay? Very important general formula. A in most cases stands in positions of metal. In some few cases you can have non-metal. B stands for the metal and C stands for the non-metal. B may also have may be a what? May be a non-metal. It depends in which type. But in the fundamental displacement chemical reactions, B in most cases will be metal and C will be non-metal. So how do we form products? Look, the principle. How do we form products? So a metal A should be having a property of displacing B in the compound. Remember that this is what? This is one. It may be just this is an element and this is the compound. So A has to displace what? B in order to form what? A new compound, which is AC, means that B will be displaced by A plus what? And B will stand itself. So simply say that it contains what? So simply that we say that generally it is what? So we say that normally in this type of chemical reaction, an element react with what? With a compound to form what? Or to produce what? To form or produce what? Produce a new compound. This is new compound. A new compound. And what? And the new element. Because B was not an element. It was a part of the compound. A new what? Element. Okay? So new compound a new element. So that's what you see there. Okay? So A displaces B and form a new compounds AC plus what plus B. So ladies and gentlemen, allow me to present to you example 4. So example 4, it will test your understanding. So completed the following chemical reaction, chemical equation. Chemical equations. The first one, so I've prepared 4. I will solve 3 for 2 for you, and then I'll leave 1 as your homework. So potassium reacts with sodium oxide, then complete it. What will be the product? Then the second reaction is when calcium reacts with magnesium hydroxide. With magnesium hydroxide, what will be the product? Then Roman 3, we have what? When calcium reacts with zinc chloride. So this is your quiz. So this will be quiz 3. Try it, or just you could try it right now. So try it. Once I teach you Roman 1 and 2, then you can try Roman 3. If you fail, you can check my solutions in Roman 4 and then try Roman 3. Then I'll do corrections. That's the meaning of quiz. So spend a few minutes, complete it yourself. Then Roman 4, we have a reaction between sodium and what? And the magnesium. And magnesium. So what will be the product? So we follow the same steps as I taught you in previous example. So solution. The first step. The question does not tell us which type of the chemical reactions we are given. First step, we ask you to identify what? Identify the type of the given chemical reaction or equation. So if you check all of these reactions, element reacting with compound, element reacting with compound, element reacting with compound, element reacting with sorting, or this is magnesium or sodium plus magnesium oxide, excuse me, forgot. So element reacting with compound. So we say that Roman 1 to Roman 4 are displacement. These are displacement chemical reactions. Displacement chemical reaction. Because these are displacement chemical reaction, when we got the second step. Second step, say that we call it. We call the general form of displacement chemical equations.
chemical equation. So, from the general formula, we say that if an element reacting with the compounds consisting two elements, or consisting some elements we named them BC, then these reactions will be displacement under a particular condition, but right now A will displace B to form what? To form AC as the new compounds, and new element B will be formed. So if that's the case now, we use the same principle. We have potassium as an element reacting with sodium oxide. So if the compounds, if sodium oxide compounds react with what is potassium, then we form a new compound which is potassium oxide plus what? Plus sodium. I'm not writing the physical state yet right now. So from this chemical equation, you find against this imbalance. Later on, we'll teach you about imbalanced or unbalanced. We'll teach you about unbalanced and balanced chemical equation. So how many number of atoms do we have on the right hand side? 2. On this side, we have only 1. So you have to add 2. So you have 2 atoms of potassium, 2 atoms of potassium. 1 atom of sodium, 1 atom of sodium. 1 atom of oxygen, 1 atom of oxygen. You have already completed the given chemical equation. Simple, if you understand. Then the second question is what? When calcium reacts with magnesium hydroxide, this is what we call compounds of what? Compounds of hydroxide. So when calcium reacts with magnesium hydroxide, then by using the principle of electronegativity series, then calcium is going. So remember that in this reaction, potassium has displaced the sodium in a compound called the sodium oxide. Similarly here, we have calcium plus magnesium hydroxide. Magnesium hydroxide is a compound and this is an element. So calcium is going to displace what? Magnesium. Don't write this, just this is for you, right? So this arrows is for you to understand the principle. So if calcium displaces magnesium, then calcium will combine with hydroxide to form a new compound. So the new compound will be called the magnesium. Will be called the magnesiums. The new elements will be magnesiums, and the new compounds will be called what? Calcium hydroxide. We call it calcium hydroxide. Okay? Say the example now. Try. Pause the video and then try it. Pause the video and then try it. Thank you for trying. Let us do correction. So say the example, we have calcium as element reacting with what? With zinc chloride as compound. So if this chemical reaction takes place, you know that calcium is going to displace what? Zinc to form what? To form calcium chloride plus what? Plus zinc. That's the correction. So check your solution. Roman 4. We have a reaction between sodium and magnesium oxide. So the reactants are sodium as an element, using simple examples, and what? And magnesium oxide. And magnesium oxide. So if that element reacts with that compound, then we form a new compound which we call the sodium oxide plus what? A new element which is called what? Magnesium. Then we've finished to solve example 4. You know what is coming? Now it's a time for you to practice it. I'm using the technique that we call the LOTP. Learn try and practice it. So it's time for the practice. Practice it, or in simple language you say that homework. So this is homework 3. Practice it, it's homework 3, it's homework 3. It's homework 3. So practice it, or we call it homework 3. So the homework 3 is it does have a single question, right? So the question is, with aid of examples, try this homework and submit your homework in the comment section at this moment. So with aid of what? With aid of examples, briefly explain the technique of completing incomplete displacement decomposition what? Incomplete decomposition reaction or equation. Incomplete decomposition equation. That's the question. Question. So follow the steps that I taught you in techniques of completing the incomplete combination chemical equation, and the techniques I taught you are of completing incomplete displacement chemical equation. Ladies and gentlemen, I have so many information to teach you or to pass to you, but my Father who is in heaven says that Olenjolai is enough today. So again, I will have another session, which I will call it session 4, where I will teach you, I will do the corrections of the homework or practice 83, and then I will teach you about the other 2 techniques, and we'll be doing so many examples, including the past paper Form 4 nectar questions of completing the chemical equations. So don't miss it. So remember that session 5 will be where the chemical equation. So just remember and do these minor corrections because we made a mistake. We call it for the first time session 3, and then we change the name from session 3 to session 4 because we jumped the concepts of of completing the chemical equation. But nothing will be missed. Everything is well arranged and systematically. Before I end these sessions, I have couples of announcements to you. The first announcement, I would like to invite you, in case you feel from your hearts that you want to offer our Father who is in heaven your feeling thanksgiving through to also through Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School in Square Bracket Olenjolai. You're only welcome to do it, and you may offer your freewheeling thanksgiving offering through that telephone number 0759745331. Why should you offer? That's a very important question. It's expensive to prepare one video of teaching. So when I was asking the founder of the programs, who is my Father who is in heaven, then he said, yeah, I have an assignment to offer my freewheeling thanksgiving to him of the gift of teachings and even my financial matters, and also will invite different Tanzanians and international students also for them to take part in paying for the running cost, so that more than 600 videos of basic mathematics, chemistry, and physics for ordinary secondary students will be in air. The last announcement, I would like to welcome you into Tanzania Online Ordinary Library. So in that library, today we have just 4 books of chemistry that will make you to learn and master chemistry based the syllabus of United Republic of Tanzania. We have a book called the Chemistry from Forms 1 and 2 students book. And also we have another book. So this is the book which is actually contains different concepts of chemistry form 1 and chemistry form 2. So you may need it. For the form 3, we are using this as one of the reference textbook called the Chemistry Forms 3 and 4 student books. So you may order this book online. This we call them textbook, and each book is just costing almost 17,000 Tanzania shillings. But again, we like to teach you how you do practice on different questions. So you have a special book for the chemistry form 2. This is form 2 past papers, nectar exams of chemistry from 2003 to 2019, questions and answers. You may also order this book from our library. Also, you have this is the last book, just last sample book called Ordinary Level Chemistry Review, questions and answers from 2003 and 2019. We recommend this questions and answer book or questions and just questions and answers book for every Form 3 students. And recommend also chemistry forms 3 and 4 chemistry book, students books for all our students, for them to learn beyond of what we've been teaching you. So you may order these books, just send an SMS of your order through this telephone number, then we'll make contact to you in order to make sure that you get these resources for you to go far as long as God will take you. So I would like to take this opportunity, first of all, to give my Father who is in heaven much thanks. And then I would like also to give much thanks to you who have been watching this program from the beginnings to the end. I know that you would like me to continue teaching you, but it's enough today because we have to check about the time and your capacity of receiving this information. And thirdly, I would like to thank God for all the people who are going to make sure or who are going to support this program, who are going to just marketing these programs, who are going to support in either ways these programs in order to impact lives of present and future generation in Tanzania and the international or in other international countries. May God bless you and keep you. Keep enjoying the beauty of chemistry. I invite you in session 4 when I'll teach you about other 3 techniques of completing the chemical equation and doing some more questions, including the past paper questions of the nectar from 4 and 2 much more that we'll be discussing that session. Invite your friends to join you in the next session. That will be session 4, where that we are going to advance our knowledge on the process or on the techniques of completing the chemical equation. So may God bless you and keep you until we meet in the next session. This is Olenjolai from the beautiful country called Tanzania.